Inside of him in spot number 3, the M&J Custom Modular Homes, number 17, from right here in Middletown, New York, Frankie J. Frank Jazembowski. And your starting row, for number 1, out of West Sand Lake, New York, going in spot number 2 with the Doherty Brothers Construction, number 115, will be Kenny Tremont. And starting up on the pole out of St. Catharines, Ontario, the Modern Accountants, Bicknell Racing Products, number 42, of Pete Bicknell. 31 cars to go in the 94-lap Skoal Racing Super Dirt Series feature event. Here, the feature nightcap, and when the green flag flies, Tim will call it all.
Well, thank you very much, Rick, and of course, a pair of hot shoes up there in the front row. By luck of the draw, Pete Bicknell out of St. Catharines, Ontario, with the Modern Accountants Bicknell Racing, number 42 car. A very good runner the past couple of years on the dirt track circuit. Kenny Tremont, we mentioned earlier, the last time that this car raced at all was here at Eastern States back in 1993, in which he won that event. So that car very accustomed to victory here at Orange County Speedway. How many think one of those two outside invaders may walk home with a 94-lap feature event win tonight? How many think Brett Hearn's going to make it 2 in a row out here tonight with that Pyrel number 1 car? Well, time will tell. 94 laps, a long way to a checkered flag. $3,000 to win out here tonight. And, of course, that guaranteed starting spot in the Phase Drugstore Small Block Modified Championship event held during Super Dirt Week this year. Once again, this feature event here tonight at Orange County Speedway brought to us by Gallagher, GMC light and medium duty trucks, and the Peterbilt Big Rigs, Route 32 South in Newburgh, New York. Co-sponsoring tonight's racing action, Brielski Antacids, the fastest fizz there is, and your local Sears department store, located nearby right here in Middletown, New York, at the Galleria at Crystal Run. Of course, some Craftsman tools being presented tonight to the Big Block and Small Block and Dirt Sportsman feature winners on behalf of all the folks from the Sears department store. Set to go racing right now as that Olson Todd pace car takes them around the Orange County Speedway. Feature event nightcap here at the Orange County Speedway, and of course we'll be back here next Friday night, July the 8th, with enduro and go-kart racing action. Well, the field is now set, and we're set to go racing for 94 laps of Small Block Modified feature event action. The Olson Todd pace cars now drop them down in turns number 3 and 4. Pete Bicknell out of St. Catharines, Ontario. Kenny Tremont out of West Sand Lake, New York. They'll bring that back of Small Block Modified down to turn number 4. The green flag flies, and here we go. Right off the get-go, Kenny Tremont, the Doherty Brothers number 115 car, grabbed the number 1 spot. Then motor down the back straightaway this time. Second place, it is Pete Bicknell. Third spot, down the back straightaway, Billy Wilcox, that FX Caprera, number 19W car. Outside row is the fast way around out here tonight. Danny Johnson already making some fast tracks early in this 94-lap feature event. He'll fight with Frankie J right now for spot number 4. 3 wide, down in turns number 1 and 2 right now. They fight for the number 3 spot. Wilcox to the outside. DJ threads the needle, and Frankie J gets left behind. Kenny Tremont holds on to the number 1 spot. Second place right now, the number 42 of Pete Bicknell. Bicknell coming down out of turn number 4 this time. A strong second place run. Here comes the third place battle. Johnson off to the inside corner. DJ down to the inside. Wilcox just left out the drive, but he threads the needle coming back off the inside line in turn number 2. Down the back straightaway. Wilcox back in spot number 4. Frankie J back in spot number 5, and Frank Cozy. The 74 car, caution lights coming on. We've got a lot of problems down in turn number 4. Final 3 laps of this feature event. The final 3 must be run under the powers of the green flag. However, caution laps until that point do count. Down there in turn number 3. Bill Cherry rejoins the field right now in a borrowed ride out here tonight for the small block class. That's the Bobby Houck number 99 car. Kerry looking very strong in a qualifying run out here tonight. Kenny Tremont, after 5 laps of competition, holds on to the number 1 spot. Pete McNell is second. Danny Johnson rides back there in spot number 3. Billy Wilcox back in spot number 4. Frank Jazombowski rides in spot number 5. Then back in spot number 6, Super Dirt Series feature event of the 1994 racing year. Kenny Tremont wants to go racing on the outside row. He opts to go racing on the outside of row number 1. Obviously the fast lane around the Orange County Speedway tonight. Meanwhile, caution lights get turned out. The Olson Todd pace car back down to the inside. It's Tremont on the outside. He's your pole sitter. McNell to the inside. Here we go on a turn number 4 this time. The green flag flies. We go back to racing. Kenny Tremont very quickly once again wraps up the number 1 spot. Watch DJ to the inside. Danny Johnson sets his sights on spot number 2 this time as we go racing down the back straightaway. It's Johnson to the inside. McNell to the outside. Pete McNell, an outside invader here tonight, running very strong right now in that second place battle against Danny Johnson. Third spot right now, of course, is McNell. Johnson wraps up spot number 2. Billy Wilcox, the youngster out of Waterloo, New York. Back there in the number 4 spot, Frank Cozy has now wrapped up spot number 5. Tremont holds on to the lead. Danny Johnson second. McNell is third. Wilcox back there in spot number 4. Cozy back in spot number 5. Frank Jazombowski holds on to spot number 6. And Howie Finch making tracks right now behind the number 7 of Steve Payne. Payne is back there in spot number 7. Finch is back in spot number 8. Cozy loses power just for a second. Cozy holds on to the top 5 run right now. Billy Wilcox up there in spot number 4. Jazombowski back in spot number 6. 7th place it is Howie Finch, and Hearn on the outside for spot number 8. Steve Payne back to spot number 9. Larry Brolsma rounds out the top 10 running order. On a turn number 2, they'll fight for the number 3 spot. 4 spot down the back straightaway. Meanwhile, watch Danny Johnson close in on Kenny Tremont. Johnson now uses strategy coming out of turn number 4. And Johnson will drag race Tremont down the home straightaway. Johnson on the inside, Tremont on the outside. Tremont powers up that Dirty Brothers 115 car. Tremont exits turn number 2 very early, and he drags Johnson down the back straightaway. Tremont wins the Johnson drag race. Now DJ will plan more strategy. He'll chop it off to the inside, coming down on turn number 4 this time. Tremont holds on to the lead. Johnson right there within shooting distance. Now he'll have to try him on the outside. 3 cars fight for the number 6 spot. On a turn number 2 they battle. Tremont and Johnson, nose and tail. Johnson to the outside. Tremont on the inside. Tremont center lines it on turn number 4 this time. Johnson to the outside, and Johnson stands on it down the home straightaway. Johnson takes the longer way around. The outside grill, he takes a ride to the wild side and grabs the number 1 position. Danny Johnson, the doctor of modified racing, has now taken over the number 1 spot. Tremont is second, McNell third, Cozy fourth, Jazombowski fifth, and Brett Hearn rides back in spot number 6. Howie Finch runs the number 7 spot right now. 8th place it is Billy Wilcox. 9th place in that battle taking shape right now with Larry Brolsma to the outside. Brolsma takes the Dover Break 265 car up to spot number 9, and Steve Payne settles for spot number 10. Danny down the home straightaway, holds on to the number 1 spot. Tremont back in spot number 2. McNell rides in 3 right now. Cozy tries to close the gap to Smith Brothers 74 ride. Jazombowski back there in spot number 5, and Hearn, the Pyroil, number 1 car, slowly inching away back in spot number 6. Watch that 5th place battle. Hearn on the inside corner, very quickly takes over spot number 5. Hearn now rides in the top 5. Jazombowski back there in spot number 6. Howie Finch looks off to the inside corner in spot number 7 right now. Billy Wilcox is 8th, Brolsma 9th, and Steve Payne back in spot number 10. Danny Johnson, look out down in turn number 1. Mike Bruno up against the concrete, but he keeps the car going in the right direction. Bruno, the Baum number 22 car, gets it back in the right direction, but now Danny Johnson, he'll begin to reel in the back markers. Johnson cautiously does his homework right now to get by the back markers in nick of time. He'll look to the outside, coming down the home straightaway. Tremont right now will work away at the lap traffic as well as he attempts to close that gap on spot number 1. Tremont back there, the number 115 car. Pete McNeil running a solid third place right now. Hearn still back in spot number 4. Cozy rides in 5. Haley Finch back there in spot number 6. Frank Jezembowski rides in spot number 7. Danny Johnson, the car driving a masterful groove, and the talent behind the wheel will boot it down the back straightaway. Johnson holds on to the lead. Tremont still second. Third place it is now Brett Hearn. Hearn now has taken over third spot from runner Pete McNeil. McNeil now back there in spot number 4. Frank Cozy rides in spot number 5. Hallie Finch then in spot number 6. Frank Jezembowski rides in spot number 7. Katzen, Larry Brolsma spot number 8, and Steve Payne in spot number 9. Markers have quickly played a factor right now. This small block modified feature event. Johnson clear sailing it down the home straightaway. Tremont still second. Hearn rides in third. McNeil is fourth. Cozy fifth. Ellie Finch then sixth. Seventh is the number 17 of Frank Jezembowski. Eighth, it's Larry Brolsma. Ninth, Steve Payne. And 10th, Billy Wilcox. Tim Fuller then rides in spot number 11. Buzzy Ruderman running back there in spot number 12 right now. Hearn going to try and gnaw away at that second place gap that Kenny Tremont has on him. And Hearn breaks free of the lap traffic coming out of turn number 2. Tremont hunting down race leader Danny Johnson. And Heinley losing a left front tire. Caution, lights come on. Caution, lights come on. Tom Heinley, the number 17 car, losing the left front racing wheel on that car after 23 laps of competition. New York, Danny Johnson. Second place, it is the 115 of Kenny Tremont. Third, the number 1 of Brett Hearn. Fourth, the number 42 of Pete McNeil. Fifth is the number 74 of Frank Cozy. Sixth then is the number 25 of Haley Finch. Seventh is 17 of Frank Jezembowski. Eighth, the number 265 of Larry Brolsma. Ninth, the 7X of Steve Payne. And 10th, the number 19W of Billy Wilcox. 25 laps have now been complete. Crossover sign being given. Some lap cars do mix in, of course, with your top runners as the caution laps do count. The Doherty brothers number 115 car still with a very strong run in this feature event, running the number 2 spot, and Brett Hearn all the way up to spot number 3. Caution lights get turned out. The Olsen Todd Cutlass Supreme pace car back down behind pit wall. We'll go racing this time as Danny Johnson brings that pack of small blocks down onto turn number 4. The green flag flies. Here we go. Johnson quickly to the outside once again, picks up the number 1 spot. Tremont right back there in spot number 2. We got problems in turn number 1. Caution lights on. Problems down in turn number 1. The 68 of Scott Goodrich, the HP2 of Jimmy Hauser, and the 94 of Mike Rickey. All with problems down in turn number 1. Gallagher safety truck has been called to scene number 1 right now as there was a small fire in the Goodrich car. Quickly have extinguished that. lights have now been turned out. 31 laps up on the scoreboard. 63 more times around. The Orange County Speedway as the Olson Todd pace car pulls down to the inside. DJ Danny Johnson, your current race leader, once again choosing the outside lane of traffic. Here we come, down out of turn number 4 this time. Kenny Marshall, green flag in the air. We go back to small block racing excitement. Johnson quickly, once again, hops out to the number 1 spot. Problems down in turn number 1. Involved. 21 of Gary Edwards and the number 7 of Donnie Wilson involved down in that turn 1 mishap. A double again. Danny Johnson going to go racing on the outside of road number 1. Kenny Tremont, the Doherty brothers, 115 car to the inside. Here we come on a turn number 4 this time. Green flag flies. We go back to racing. Johnson once again out on top. Tremont off to the inside, and Cozy making some good moves to the outside. Cozy wraps up the number 3 spot down the back straightaway. Hearn back there in spot number 4. Bicknell back in spot number 5. Takes the Pyro on number 1 car up to the outside part of turn number 4 this time. He'll set a sight set on spot number 3. Down to the inside, he drops against Frank Cozy. Cozy rides the outside rail, Hearn on the inside. They fight for the number 3 position. Cozy, the Smith Brothers Masonry 74 car, winning that 3rd place battle. Hearn back in spot number 4. Haley Finch now up to spot number 5. Kenny Tremont. 3rd, Frank Cozy. 4th, Brett Hearn. 5th, it's Haley Finch. 6th place, Pete McNeil. 7th, Frank Jezembowski. 8th, the battle is on between Larry Brosma and Steve Payne. Danny Johnson trying to mark some time right now. Back there in the number 1 spot as he tries to pull away from the rest of the field. Tremont rides back to the number 2 spot. 3 cars going to go to battle right now for spot number 3. Frank Cozy holds on to that 3rd place battle. Hearn right there in spot number 4, the Pyro car. Hearn rides him up to the rim shot. Field in turn number 4 this time. Hearn on the outside cannot gather up the horsepower to get by Frank Cozy. Cozy in a masterful groove so far. He center lines it down on turn number 2 this time. Pacing Brett Hearn down the back straightaway. Hearn rides the number 4 spot. Finch still back in spot number 5. Pete McNeil is 6th. Frank Jezembowski 7th. Larry Brosma onto the inside for spot number 8. Steve Payne is 9th, and Kurt Van Duzer in spot number 10. Brett Hearn now begins to pick up the pace. And problems down in turn number 1. As Kirk Van Duzer in trouble down in turn number 2. Caution flag flies once again at the 42nd lap. Still a double file restart. Van Duzer straightens himself back out. He'll have to step to the rear of the bus this time to join the tail side of the field. Sign being given once again. The halfway point, of course, will be lap number 47. Double file restart until that midway point. The 94 lap Skoal Racing Super Dirt Series feature event for the small block modifies, the first on their tour this year. Brought to us tonight by Gallagher, GMC and Peterbilt Truck Center out the Brioski and Acids, the fastest fizz there is. Caution lights have now been turned out. We're set to resume racing at lap number 44 at the Olson Todd pace car back down to the inside. Danny Johnson once again going to go racing on the outside with Brett Hearn right behind him this time. Tremont and Cozy on the inside rail. They come down on the turn number 4 this time. The green flag flies, and down to the inside. Finch gone racing down the back straightaway, picks up the number 5 spot. And Finch, the countryside of Elcor. He'll look to the outside of Cozy, coming out of turn number 4 this time. Davey Johnson and Brett Hearn nose and tail down the home straightaway. The classic battle from the big block ranks has now moved into the small block feature. Watch them trail each other down the back straightaway. Johnson holds on to the lead. Hearn right there in spot number 2. Tremont is 3rd, Cozy 4th. 5th place it is Howie Finch. 6th spot, the battle between Big Bill and Larry Brosma. Big Bill holds on to spot number 6. Brosma 7th, Jazembowski 8th. Steve Payne is 9th. And Billy Wilcox back there in spot number 10. Top 2 cars now begin to pull away from the rest of the pack. We're coming right down to the halfway point this time. 47 laps have now been complete 47 more times around the Orange County Speedway, and it may very well be the hardest challenge so far here tonight. Johnson to the outside, Hearn to the inside, coming out of turn number 2 this time. Tremont still 3rd, Cozy 4th, Finch back in spot number 5. Powering up to the inside groove, coming out of turn number 4 this time. He looks off to the inside corner. They'll slice him out of turn number 4 this time, but Johnson holds on to the punch. Johnson powers up to the outside. That's his favorite side around the Orange County Speedway so far tonight. Johnson rides the wild side the entire 5/8 mile distance. Hearn pacing himself right now, back there in the number 2 spot. Follows Johnson out of groove number 4 this time. Still back there in spot number 3, Cozy 4th, Finch 5th, Big Nell back in spot number 6, Brosma 7th, Jazembowski 8th, Steve Payne 9th, Fuller back there in spot number 10. Johnson on the outside. Hearn now decides to take it down to the inside line of traffic. They'll come out of turn number 4 this time. Hearn on the inside, Johnson on the outside. Johnson got the distance covered right now. A very dominant small block modified path. Hearn setting his sights up back there, watching the habits of Danny Johnson. Going to try and do some homework right now to get by the number 6 car. Johnson continues to lead this small block feature shootout. Hearn right back there in spot number 2. Tremont still 3rd, Cozy 4th, and Finch back in spot number 5. Big Nell is 6th. Brosma, spot number 7. As 52 laps have now been put on the scoreboard. Johnson on the outside. The bottom door is open for Hearn, and Johnson gets quick down the back straightaway. Johnson beginning to come alive right now, as he's very, very dominant down the straightaways. It appears that if Hearn's going to get him, he's going to have to do it in the turns. Hearn on the inside right now. Hearn very talented through the turns here at Orange County. Johnson down the back straightaway will put about a 4-car distance over second place running Brett Hearn. Tremont Cozy still 3rd and 4th. Finch back there in spot number 5. Continues to run to the number 1 spot. Top 2 cars pull away from the rest of the field right now. Tremont still 3rd. Cozy 4th. Finch back in spot number 5. Pete McNell running back in spot number 6. Larry Brosma is 7th. Frank Jazembowski in spot number 8. Steve Payne back in spot number 9. And Billy Wilcox rounds out the top 10 running order. 55 laps up in the scoreboard right now, and one seems to wonder whether Brett Hearn knows he does have the power, but he'll draft him a couple of laps, save the tires, save the fuel, and then plan for a planned strategy, a surprise attack towards the end of this feature event. Hearn dominant through the turns, but Johnson powerful down the straightaways. Johnson continues to ride down the back straightaway right now to the inside corner in turn number 4 this time, and Johnson surprisingly drives the inside through turns number 3 and 4. Lap traffic will now become the factor. Watch the 2 masters of modified racing work their way through the back markers. Johnson down the back straightaway right now, sets his sights, putting a lap on Gary Lusher. And Hearn up to the outside. He'll try and catch Johnson on the inside this time. Johnson gets behind lap traffic. 3 wide down the straightaway, and Johnson comes up to the outside. Johnson holds on to the lead. Hearn right back there like a shadow. And now Hearn powers up down the back straightaway. Hearn will go racing to the outside once again. Brett Hearn, the Pirate Oil car. He's now looking alive. Here he comes down the home straightaway. It's a bumper-to-bumper nose and tail battle. In the deep heart of lap traffic right now. Johnson up to the outside. Hearn right there like a shadow in spot number 2. Watch him drive through the lap traffic right now. Looking out the backside this time. Tremont still 3rd. Cozy 4th, and Finch back there in spot number 5. Johnson holds on to the number 1 spot. The mover sign is given. Johnson holds on to the lead right now. Hearn right back there in the number 2 spot. Tremont still riding in 3rd. Cozy is 4th. Haley Finch back in spot number 5. Larry Brolsma 6th. Jazombowski 7th. Steve Payne is then 8th. Billy Wilcox back there in spot number 9. And Buzzy Rudiman rounds out the top 10 running order. From some lap traffic for just a couple of seconds, shake off the dirt and go racing down the back straightaway. 61 laps have now been put on the scoreboard, 62 this time around, and 32 more times to go. Good racing going on for that 3rd, 4th, and 5th battle right now. Tremont on the outside, Cozy on the inside, and Haley Finch. There's some power left in that Countryside Oil car. Watch them back in spot number 5. Johnson holds on once again, and Johnson once again drops it down to the inside. That may be a mistake by Danny Johnson. Hearn very powerful in that outside groove, and if the outside opens up, Hearn takes advantage of it. Johnson powering out of turn number 2 right now as he drags Hearn down the back straightaway. 3rd spot still Tremont, 4th Cozy, and 5th. Right there is Haley Finch. Bicknell still rides back there in the number 6 spot. Brolsma then 7th. Jazombowski back in spot number 8. Top 2 cars have taken off from the rest of the field as they're fighting their own war down there in turn number 1 and 2. Johnson, as we've seen the last 10 or 15 laps, has taken a new turn out of groove number 4. He goes to the inside. He has not taken that groove in the first 50 laps of competition. Tires may be coming a factor. Johnson may be trying to hold on to what little he's got left in the number 6 car. Hearn, meanwhile, he can go to the outside. Very, very strong, very tight. As he comes out of turn number 4 this time, we see once again Johnson hugging the inside corner, and Hearn sees what's happening. He may be doing his homework back there in spot number 2, and watch out for a planned surprise attack by the Pyro number 1 car. Johnson back down to the inside. Hearn right there on the outside in spot number 2. Haley Finch now takes over spot number 4. Frank Cozy back to spot number 5. Kenny Tremont, the Doherty Brothers 115 car, running a very strong 3rd place battle, but Haley Finch will now hunt them down back there in spot number 4. Finch into the driver, as we mentioned before, with a whole lot of power and just a little time to take it down with a checkered flag. Johnson driving a very, very hard groove up to the outside in turn number 2 once again. Pacing himself. Watch Finch. Finch got a sight set on spot number 3 right now. Finch fights, and watch him battle for the number 1 spot coming down out of turn number 4. Johnson, Hearn brakes coming down the straightaway. The car loses power down the home stretch, and Hearn is in trouble. Going for the number 1 spot will be the number 1 of Brett Hearn. The power goes out. The car is lifeless down the back straightaway. A tough break. A sure shot possible win. Johnson goes by. Now in the heart of lap traffic in turn number 1. Rides the number 6 of Danny Johnson. And the Hearn car expires as they battle for spot number 2. Tremont on the outside. Finch Larry Brosma. Then in spot number 6, Frank Jazembowski in spot number 7. Going on for the number 2 spot. Haley Finch back there in the number 2 position. Johnson getting a lap on Buzzy Rudiman, the double O car. Danny Johnson holds on to the number 1 spot. Haley Finch now takes over spot number 2 from Kenny Tremont. 72 laps have now been complete, 72 down, just 22 more times around the Orange County Speedway. Johnson comes down on a turn number 2, and Haley Finch, a half a lap behind right now, got a lot of distance to cover up, and will very well become a little time to get there. Tremont rides in 3rd right now, Cozy still 4th. Now back in spot number 5. Brosma then in spot number 6. Jazembowski is 7th. And Steve Payne in spot number 8. Johnson continues to ride on the outside. Racing tires lap after lap on the outside groove here in Orange County, but the car not dropping off in power whatsoever. Mover sign being given to Bruce Sloan this time as he comes down the home straightaway. Johnson out for a Thursday night cruise right now. Haley Finch got a long way to go to close that gap on Danny Johnson. Tremont still runs in 3rd. Cozy back in spot number 4. Bicknell back in spot number 5. 6th place to battle right now on the inside. It is Frank Jazembowski on the outside. Larry Brosma. Brosma wins that 6th place battle. Jazembowski 7th. Steve Payne then in spot number 8. Johnson breaks free from lap traffic down the back straightaway. And Danny Johnson can just about drive whatever groove he desires right now, as Haley Finch, well out of striking distance back there in spot number 2. 78 laps have now been complete. 78 marked up on the scoreboard. We'll see 79. And the caution lights coming on. One car down in a turn 3 concrete. The 57A of Kevin Federley. Something may have broken on that car as the front suspension just dropped to the ground and the car headed straight for the 3rd turn concrete. Kevin Federley out of Messina, New York, the Mosher's S&H Home Improvement car. Well, the beautiful lead that Danny Johnson had on the field has now been diminished down to a car length. 2nd place, it is the number 25 of Haley Finch. Remember, Haley Finch has won the last 3 feature events in a row here in Orange County for the small block modified. Continues to hold on to the number 1 spot. 2nd place is the Countryside Oil, number 25 of Haley Finch. 3rd spot, the number 115 of Kenny Tremont. 4th, then the number 74, Frank Cozy. 5th, the number 42 of Pete Bicknell. 6th place would be the 265 of Larry Brosma. 7th, the number 17 of Frank Jazembowski. And 8th place, the 7X of Steve Payne. Top 8 recap right now as they run. 80 laps have been scored. 81 will go down this time around. Well, 13 more laps. Father Time winds down on this 94 lap small block modified Skoal Racing Super Dirt Series shootout. down to the inside. Johnson knows that there's no time to waste right now, as that nice lead he had has now come down to a close. Here we come on a turn number 4 this time. The green flag flies. We go back to racing. Finch quickly gets by the lap traffic, and he's got his sights set on VJ right now, coming out of turn number 2. Johnson holds on to the lead. Finch is second. Tremont third. Cozy fourth. Bicknell back in spot number 5. Off to the inside of Tremont. Tremont holds on to the third place battle. Cozy still fourth. Bicknell back in spot number 5. And sixth place, it's now Larry Blosma. Seventh, it is Frank Jazembowski. And eighth, Steve Payne. Running, that is a lap car, the number 19W of Billy Wilcox, popular young hotshot out of Watertown, New York. Danny Johnson continues to hold on to the number 1 spot, and he has built up somewhat of a comfortable lead over second place running Haley Finch. Time does now begin to wind down. Tremont holds on to third. Cozy back in spot number 4. McNeil in spot number 5, and Finch in trouble down the back straightaway. Haley Finch's car, the power goes out of the countryside around number 25 car. Haley Finch going to try and rebound. It may have slipped out of gear, but the car certainly seems to be shying a little bit of horsepower. And that may have opened up the laurels right now for the number 6 of Danny Johnson. 87 laps have now been scored. Time begins to quickly wind down on this 94-lap small block modified shootout. Everything going Johnson's way right now, and Haley Finch definitely in trouble. The car dropping from the top 5 competition as Tremont takes over spot number 2. Cozy now third, Bicknell fourth. Finch going to try and manhandle that car to a top 5 running order, but certainly major problems in the number 25 of Haley Finch. Johnson holds on to the lead, and it looks right now that the gap will not be able to be closed up. Tremont back there in spot number 2. Cozy is third. Second place, Phil Kenny Tremont. Third, the 74 car of Frank Cozy. Fourth spot, the 42 of Bicknell. And fifth, it is Haley Finch. First Saturday night Orange County regular to cross the line. Another Syracuse spot going up for grabs, and Finch will just try and hold on to that honor right now. 91 laps have been placed on the scoreboard. Johnson, if he can keep his nose out of trouble right now, it'll be checkered flag time and no time at all. Johnson down on a turn number 4 this time. Watch Haley Finch. He'll try and hold on to a top 5, but he may be in trouble. Johnson holds on to the lead. Tremont is second. Cozy still in third. Bicknell is fourth. Now Frank Jazembowski has taken over spot number 5, and he'd be the first Saturday night regular down the back straightaway. 92 laps have now been scored. The white flag comes out this time. White flag coming out, and it's a 5/8 of a mile to left, and a checkered flag out here tonight. Tremont rides in second. Cozy third. Bicknell fourth. Frankie J back in spot number 5. Down the back straightaway motors the final tour of duty. 2 more left turns for $3,000. The winner of the 94-lap Skoal Racing Super Dirt Series Small Block Modified Beach Event, DJ Danny Johnson. Kenny Tremont second, Frank Cozy third, Pete Bicknell fourth, and Frank Jazembowski in spot number 5. here tonight. Once again, a guaranteed spot, of course, for the Phase Drugstore Small Block Modified Championship event, also being awarded to Danny Johnson as well. As Danny Johnson here in Victory Lane right now, getting the helmet off, slowly getting unbuckled, breathing a sigh of relief after a long and hard fight out here today. Guaranteed Syracuse spot from Frey's Drugstore team right now, and Danny, what a ride out there tonight. Twice it looked like you were going to have competition, and twice mechanical problems set in. First on Brett Hearn, then on Hallie Fitch, and you just dominated the entire distance.
Yeah, well, I tell you, this car worked good for me today. I got to thank the guys working on a car for getting me a great race car. We got a new precision motor in it, and that thing worked really well for us tonight. And I want to thank all the employees and the fans for being here tonight and being able to get me here in Victory Lane.
94 laps, a long time. How was tire wear? As we saw towards the end of the feature event, you started driving the inside down there in 3 and 4 rather than the outside.
Yeah, well, I chose the bottom because it was a little bit smoother and you were able to get through there a little bit quicker. It seemed like you had better traction up on top, but the bumps slowed you down a little bit. And I haven't really had a chance to check the tires out yet.
So it feels good to be back behind the wheel of a small block modified. You worked her right up there to Victory Lane. Congratulations, what an outstanding ride tonight.
Thank you. What feels good is Victory Lane here.
Danny Johnson, the winner of the 94 lap small block modified feature event, as he gets congratulated right now from the folks from Phase Drugstore. They'll get their picture taken, of course, as he gets his guaranteed starting spot handed to him. Kenny Tremont, the last time we talked to you was right here in Victory Lane back on Eastern States weekend, and the last time you had the small block modified ride here in Orange County, you looked very strong the entire distance.
The car really felt good. We just weren't up to Danny and Brett, and how he finished there later on got going better. We just needed to run a little bit higher, and I just didn't trust the car there. It was just a touch loose, but I'm real happy with the way things turned out.
Well, despite not being an Orange County regular, you certainly haven't forgot the touch here on the 5/8 mile groove.
Well, we're certainly trying.
Congratulations once again, Kenny. A fine ride out there, second place tonight. Another hard charger the entire 94 laps. Frank Cozy, again, you're hopping behind the wheel of a car that you don't run every Saturday night, but certainly didn't take you long to get the feel behind the wheel.
No, these guys do a good job, and the car's pretty much ready to race when it gets here, so really just the hard part's driving.
Looked like a very competitive ride the entire 94 laps. Even towards the end of the race, you were still making some good hard charges there for the third place battle. Tire wear, obviously not a factor at all.
Well, we did kind of wear out a right rear, but we ran pretty hard there in the beginning, and I think we were a little bit loose, so that lost a tire.
Well, Frank, you still pulled home a third place finish. A good ride out here tonight for the Smith Brothers crew. Congratulations on a job well done.
Thank you.
Frank Cozy, ladies and gentlemen. And a man who walked home in 5th place, but he still got himself a Syracuse spot for being the first Orange County car across the wire. Frank Jazombowski, it certainly didn't take you long to get accustomed to a brand new team here at Orange County.
Now, they're a really great group of guys, and they don't really know what they're doing. And I just got to thank Chick and Billy and the rest of the crew because as of 4 weeks, I was watching the races, not participating. So I just want to thank Chick and all the sponsors that helped Chick out this year. And I guess we're going to Syracuse now.
Well, despite some time off from racing here in Orange County, you kept her in the top 10 almost the entire distance long, and certainly haven't forgotten nothing over a short absence.
No, it's almost like riding a bike. We had a push, and we need consecutive laps, and I got passed by a couple good cars, and it took me a while to get by them, and I was faster, I just couldn't get by them. But once I got past Larry, and then I got past Howie, I said, okay, I think we were in.
Not a bad job at all. You walked home with that 5th place win, finish tonight, and of course, a win now for a Syracuse guaranteed starting spot. You'll represent Orange County come October.
Well, I hope we can do them good.
Okay, Frankie J, ladies and gentlemen, 5th place finish tonight, and also picks up a Syracuse qualifying spot, the first Orange County regular.